Hello, dear health seekers. Inga from Health Origins here. Happy New Year, everyone. I decided since January is the month where a lot of people rethink their eating habits, their workout routines, and try and live a healthier life, to kick bad habits and also to reset their eating patterns after festivities, festive eating, overindulging. I thought it's perfect timing for me to do this 15-part series. So I'll be doing a video every 2 days for you. I'll probably do live videos. I'll be just quicker with the day-to-day life. I'll discuss and share with you everything I know about how to kickstart your healthier eating journey. I say healthier eating habits for life and not a diet. So I don't believe in diets. I don't believe that diets work. In fact, they hurt your body more long term than they help. Because if you do these crash diets, limiting your calories, limited your carbohydrates in particular, your body starts thinking that it's starving and starts conserving the nutrients and the energy and starts kind of piling on fat, in fact. And it can actually also slow down metabolism to try and survive. So if you kind of doing any of these unhealthy diet behaviors, then your body could actually slow down burning calories and fats because it's thinking it's starving, especially with any keto diet. So beware of keto diets. I will mention that probably in other parts, but today I wanted to start at the very basics. On my channel I say food is fuel. So first of all, before we start talking about eating, the portions, when to eat, and amounts and everything like that, what we need to first determine what fuel is the right fuel for our bodies, right? Like petrol car can only run on petrol, diesel car can only run on diesel. So is our body is designed for a specific type of diet or specific type of foods that we're supposed to consume. So, and how to determine that? Well, the easiest way without being kind of prejudiced or having any kind of moral thoughts, even though, yes, you might like a vegan diet for the animals, that you're not hurting animals and things like that. However, we need to look at all of the spectrum um, of the diets through the lens of our body, our physiology, because we need to look at the facts. And the fact is that our body and our system, digestive and all the other systems, are designed with specific food as fuel in mind. Okay, so yes, we might be able to eat a few different foods. However, optimal foods is the foods that our systems are primarily designed for. So what I want to touch here with you, I'll show you quickly, and I'll share a link down below. So this is like a long a big table here that compares carnivore, omnivore, herbivore, frugivore, and human. Okay, all of the different systems, from the vision, digestion, breathing, sleeping, stomach acid, and all sorts of things. So all of the different systems, and then you can see and compare natural kind of meat eaters with omnivores. So natural meat eaters, carnivores being your cats, that's your primarily example, so which basically need just meat pretty much. Omnivores can eat a bit of everything. Herbivores, obviously, it's your grass eaters and everything. So cows, sheep, whatever. And then frugivores, so it's your monkeys and then humans, right? So it compares all these different five typical mammalian species, right? And their systems. So from that, I'll, like I said, I'll link down below after this live, so you could, have a look and follow yourself. But I'll mention a few um, different things that, from physiology, what our bodies are designed for specifically to, food wise, what's our ideal. Like I said, you can eat a lot of things and we digest and eat a lot of things, but doesn't mean it's ideal for our system. We can manage it, but it doesn't mean it's optimal, right? So what we are looking for is optimal fuel for our bodies to run optimally. So let's look at vision first, okay? So if you look at vision, carnivores and omnivores, okay, they do not see in full color scale. So what carnivores and omnivores mainly see, omnivore being your dogs and your bears primarily that I can think of, and then a carnivore, obviously all your big cats and domestic cats. So their vision is more for movement, okay? So they are um primarily targeting prey, okay? So meaning movement is what they're mainly seeing, okay? Because their vision is targeted to locate movement and catch the prey. So that's why they don't see in full color scale, because that's not important to them. For them, movement is the primary kind of the primary criteria that that their vision is concentrating on. Um, Whereas herbivore, frugivore, and human sees in full color scale. So that means we can see all the different colors and spectrum of colors of all the fruits and veggies, okay? Because each interestingly, each color of fruit or vegetable kind of denotes the main qualities and main nutrients of that food. That's why you might have heard before, eat the rainbow. So eat colorful different kind of colors of foods, because that it has some merit to it, because different colors denote different nutrients normally in the fruits and vegetables, okay? So that's why herbivores, frugivores, and humans can see in full color, full scale color, okay? Right, then circadian rhythms again. Ours is nothing like the carnivores or omnivores. We sleep only 8 hours, whereas, they sleep 18 to 20 hours. So basically, they're only active for about 4 hours a day, and they use a lot of energy to catch food, the prey, for example, and then for the rest of it, they conserve energy and sleep and lie around. Whereas for us, we only sleep 8 hours. We're active for the rest of the 24 hours, so it's completely different. Now, so another one is interesting, jaw motion and mastication. Well, actually, before we go to that one, you might say, well, what about our what are they called, canines? What about our canines? If you look at mine, it's barely there, right? I mean, these canines are not canines to catch and chomp at the zebra. I would bet £100 for anybody. In fact, I could probably bet more, because I know it wouldn't happen. Can any of you run up to a zebra, chomp into the hind leg of the zebra and tear off a chunk of meat with your canines, right? No, we can't do it, because our teeth are not made for that. These canines, or incisors as they are called, they are there to help you bite into a harder, fruits and vegetables, like an apple, for example, or a celery, or like leafies, to kind of help to for us to chew things, okay, and bite onto things. So yeah, So these are not really canines as people, keep on pointing out. What about our canines? They're not real canines. You can't tear meat with them, really, like raw meat. um so another thing interesting about kind of jaw and mastication movements. So interestingly, carnivores, jaws only move up and down. Okay, so they just move up and down. They're just basically to bite off the chunk of food and tear it off. That's kind of how it's working, right? Whereas for herbivores, frugivores, and humans, we have some lateral movement to help us chew. Okay, so carnivores and omnivores don't have any kind of that movement. Let me just have a look. Or very omnivores have very minimal movement, but carnivores have no like movement sideways at all. So that just tells you this is their teeth and like jaw and everything is made to just tear off the food, the meat, and just swallow it, and digestion happens further on. Whereas for us, from herbivore, frugivore, and human, we have the lateral movement, which is, our jaws go not just up and down but also sideways, and that helps us, masticate the food in the mouth already. So that's the difference there. Then let's have a look. We talked about teeth already, right? Stomach acidity, right? So this is a really, really good one. Right, so if you know pH, so 7 and below is acidic, and 7 and above is alkaline. So the more lower you go, the more acidic it gets, and the higher you go, the more alkaline it gets. Okay, so um, for carnivores and omnivores, their stomach acid is much more acidic than the herbivores, frugivores, and humans. Okay, so their pH is less or equals to 1, so quite a low, quite high acidity, right? Whereas ours, the herbivore, frugivore, or human, the three of the last ones there, the three on the last scale, they have the pH level of stomach acidity 4 to 5. Okay, yeah, 4 to 5, and that just tells you that that's already a massive difference, because to break down meat or animal products effectively, you need a higher stomach acidity. Whereas if your stomach acidity is lower, it's not as effective to break down animal products, especially meat. Okay, so that's a massive difference. Now we go to length of small intestine, right? And that, so for carnivores and omnivores, if you read there, you'll see that the length of their small intestine is 1.5 to 3 times body length, which it might seem long, but actually it's quite short, especially for carnivores, right? Because herbivores, frugivores, and humans, they have the small intestine is at least 9 times their body length. For herbivores, it's 20 times actually, so it's even longer. The cows and sheep, goats, that sort of thing, because they eat a lot of plant matter and they're heavy, fibrous, hard, fibrous foods, and that's why they need a longer small intestine, so that that hard plant matter could be broken down as it goes along further on. So it needs quite a bit of breaking down time. But carnivores, the reason why their small intestine and digestive tract is relatively much shorter than the rest of the three is because meat, when it gets digested, if it stays in the intestinal tract, in the digestion system, for long, it starts putrefying and it starts producing gases, right? So that's the reason for a short digestive tract and, short small intestine, so that the meat can just quickly go from one end to the other without creating any toxic gases and putrefying along the way. So that's why, for humans, frugivores and humans, and especially herbivores as well, our small intestine is much much larger, because our bodies are not made for, meat or animal products. It's made for plant foods, and it's that's why it needs a longer intestine to break down all the fiber, all the plant matter as it goes along, similar to that of herbivores. So yeah, so that's a big difference there. Then what else? Nails as well, claws and nails, right? Can you tell me that our nails are the same as cats' nails, for example, right? Even dogs' nails are not that sharp. Only like your real predators, your like cats, have like these sharp claws that help them to, catch and attach to a prey or to something. Whereas our nails are just, we have nail beds just to protect basically our tops of nails. They're not really meant for clawing anything or catching our prey with the nails. So yeah, so just, oh, and another one. So the last one I'm going to mention, which is so super interesting, right, is cholesterol. I mean, there's lots and lots of other systems more that you can look, but if you look at cholesterol, that is so so important. Okay, so for carnivores and omnivores, they can metabolize large amounts efficiently. Okay, so it means the carnivore and omnivore systems are made to effectively process large amounts of cholesterols that are found in animal foods only. Okay, so in your meats, in your dairy products, and your eggs, there's a lot of cholesterol in animal products. And carnivores and omnivores have a very effective system of metabolizing large amount of it efficiently. Okay, so it's made for it. So a cat would never have a coronary disease, as in, blocked arteries or anything like that, from fats that she's been eating, because it just doesn't happen for carnivores and omnivores. Their systems are made to just eliminate that and metabolizing it very effectively. So cholesterol, animal cholesterol, is not an issue for carnivore and omnivore. However, if you look at herbivore, frugivore, and human, okay, it says can only metabolize smaller amounts efficiently. Okay, so, oh no, sorry, that's not it. Can only metabolize phytosterols efficiently. Phytosterols, okay? So phytosterols are different types of cholesterol, so they are kind of plant based. So it's different kinds. So it's not animal based cholesterol. It's a different kind of, fats, which is your plant fats, which the phytosterols would stand for, I believe. So yeah, so that's a complete big difference, and that's a telltale sign that we are, as humans, we are not meant to eat animal products, because we don't have uh, that efficiency to metabolize it at all, or take it away from the body, and that can cause a lot of heart issues, problems, where we have clogged arteries with cholesterol and all sorts of different issues, fatty tissue, fatty deposits accumulating. So yeah, so just to touch a few, but like I said, I'll link down below once I've finished this live. I'll link down below for you, so you could have a look at this comparative um, anatomy of mammalian species table. I didn't compile this, somebody else did, so thank you very much. But it's a very useful tool to look at it objectively at the facts and to determine what is our system closest to. And from all of these, our system is the closest to frugivores, right? So our monkeys, which are mainly eating just fruits and veggies, okay? But so um from looking at the facts, our bodies are made for plant foods, okay? That's our primary optimal food source. Yes, we can eat and digest some other things too, but it's not ideal or optimal for our bodies. So have a look at this table yourself, have a look at the facts, and I'll definitely touch on in another part about the dangers of keto and how the body, you know, gets into ketosis, which is starvation, which is like really, really detrimental long term. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed this little segment. I'll try not to make these videos too long. Keep it maybe out under 20 minutes, 15-20 minutes, and yeah, so keep an eye out for the next installment in a couple of days time, which will discuss something. I'm not too sure what I'm gonna tackle next, but basically I'll go through all the main things we need to know about about what food is obviously optimal, which we already discussed today. Then we'll discuss, what kind of meals, what kind of times, what kind of portions, and anything else you need to know to transition, to help you transition from standard diet to a whole food plant-based diet. So we'll touch what kind of plant foods we need to eat in next part. So part 2 will be the right kind of plant foods to eat, because plant foods are not equal plant foods. There are some are not quite healthy for you and some are. So we'll discuss how to determine what are the healthy foods to eat from the plant kingdom, and what determines that and how to choose. Okay, so I hope you're having a lovely start to your January, and see you on all in a couple of days.